Right, so building on from last week's video, you've got your equipment. What do you do with it? How do you get started with clients making promotional videos? Promotional videos weren't the first type of videos I made for clients that I got paid for. Music videos were, but I'm going to do music videos another time. But I'm going to start with promotional videos just because it feels like that's a good place to start. And it might be a good idea for some of you watching to do that one first. So like I said in last week's video, once you get your equipment, if you haven't shot anything before, it might be hard to go after getting clients because you don't have a past record of anything you've ever done. At least when I was going after my first, few clients for video work, I could say, hey, here's films that I've shot before, and a few other things that I could point to and be like, I shot these. If you're starting out, you might not have any of that. So, like I said in last week's video, what you should start out with if you have nothing to your name is get a few close friends together, get a few people together that you know, and maybe go plan out a short film. Maybe start with that. Even if narrative films aren't really what you want to do, it's a good chance to showcase cinematography skills. Or, like I said, you could go out wherever you live and just take really good stock footage, which has the double dip effect of you can use it to show potential clients, hey look, this is the level of quality you could expect from me if you hired me. But you can also put it up on websites like Shutterstock to sell, get some extra money. It can be a good idea to start, maybe do a couple of videos for people for free. Most people will say that. No one likes to hear do videos for free because it depends what part of the world you live in, but especially sometimes over here people really don't want to pay at all, but especially not that much for video work. And so the idea of doing it for free, you're like, well, no one's going to pay anyway, maybe if I start doing it for free no one will ever pay for it, type of thing. But you do just have to take a step back and realise, look, I'm really at the beginning here. I might not be in a position where I really should be charging for my skills, but if you're confident enough that you could do the work for people at a paid level, even if it's not a ton of money, well then maybe don't consider doing it for free, but at least have some experience under your belt, because the last thing you want is to screw up a client's job and then be in trouble. What I would recommend is wherever it is you live, start going to businesses in person. Especially if it's a small town, start going to the places in your town, the businesses, in person. This step is a lot easier if you have business cards. Don't know how well that's focusing, but they can be a good way to almost instill confidence in your clients. You could just send out cold emails as well to businesses in your area. Most businesses you can get their email address pretty easily, but especially that would maybe work better in cities and stuff like that, but especially if you're in a small town, you could easily get business cards for cheap. Even if you don't get business cards, go into the actual places that you would want to do promotional videos in your area and inquire. If they want you to explain it a bit more, talk about how you could potentially increase their earnings by bolstering their brand awareness, all these type of things. Promotional videos, especially if you're doing it in a small sort of area like your town, they're a good one to get into because you're starting to build connections with other businesses in your area, and if you do a good job, obviously, especially in a small town, word of mouth, you can pass it along. People, maybe people are talking, oh, I run this business and I got so and so to do a video, and now more people know who I am, that type of thing. Promotional videos, that's why I say it can be a very good one to start with, because if you know what you're doing, you've got a wee bit of experience, you should be able to do a pretty good job. And if you can do a good job, it could potentially lead to more gigs down the line. In short, I recommend, especially if you live in a small area, go to your businesses in person, maybe put on a shirt, get business cards if you can, and inquire about doing promotional videos for them. Explain what you can do and what your price point for that is. And be careful when you're planning that out. Don't overcharge, but also don't undercharge. And hopefully you'll be able to get your first couple of clients. This might sound like it's almost too easy, but it's really, if you have your own equipment, or like I said in last week's video, you've rented equipment, if you know how to use it and you have the courage to go out and ask, at least inquire, you may get turned down by a bunch of people, but you'll probably at least get a few gigs out of that. Yeah, it's really that easy. Just get your, you've got your equipment, go approach businesses in person, or in some instances reach out over email, depending, you'll know yourself, which would make more sense to go in person or contact them via email or even social media. You'll know that on a case-by-case basis. Go give it a shot and get your first couple of promotional videos under your belt.